So let's see this library file in action. Let's close down the shell. Okay, so this was the calculator program. Let's say I'm writing another program. I really don't care what kind of program it is. There we go. In fact, let's close down calculator. Got a brand new program that I'm going to run. And I'm going to save this as guess my age. And don't try. Now, also, do not put spaces or capital letters in your file names. If you do, this sort of thing is probably going to not work very well until you change them. Always write your file names with lowercase. If you need to, maybe you could do some underscores, but I wouldn't. I would just write everything all in one go. So, guess my age. Here's a new program. What I want to do is have my routine, my new routine, there, so that I don't have to keep writing it. I just call that get value, and it works. So if I try import my IO, I've linked to the file, and now I can ask the user on the screen to give me their age. Now normally I would just type import what is your age, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to choose just get value, and then I'm going to print the age out on the screen. Print you are years old. Dot format age. So this is going to ask me for the person's age, but it's got all that magic in that we programmed. In other words, it's not going to take a letter. It will keep looping around until I actually give a number so it can continue. So let's run that program and see it in action. So here's my new program. Simple mistake. My IO dot. Try again. Please enter a number. There we go. Now that's what I would really want to change. Yeah, okay. Enter a number's good, but maybe I would want a message saying please enter your age, and I can't really get to it because it's pre-programmed in get value as please enter a number. So we're going to use that sort of parameters and argument passing to change this shortly. But let's see this working. Let's say I'm 14, press enter, and it says you are 14 years old. The important part is I need to link to the file. I need to call the function in the file. I need to have the function or the file with a dot before the function. I'm going to mention one more thing called an alias. You don't really need to know that, because sometimes my file names can be a bit long and I don't want to keep typing those out, and I can use something called an alias. So I can choose this by import my IO as, let's shorten it to M. So instead of using my IO all the way through my program, I can just do M dot. The only problem with that is that I can't use another variable in my program called M, not a global one anyway. It won't work. So let's just show you that's still working. There we go. Please enter a number, 67. You are 67 years old. Huh. So we can use this as an alias, but as I mentioned, I really want to change that message. I don't want to ask for a number. I want to ask for a relevant piece of information, and it's just all about passing variables in get value. So let's go and open up, because this is going to be rather a large change. I go and get my io.py. It's going to be a large change in the program, but remember what we're doing is writing one routine that we can use now, we can use next week in a different program, we can use it in our project. So if you can write the routines to go in your project, it will help you, and it will help you think about setting your project out. And what I'm going to do is just say, okay, get value, give me a message. And instead of saying enter a number, I'm going to say input message. And that is it. However, that's only in the function definition. So I really need to change all my function calls. So I'll show you working in this one first, because now the program's changed, so it's going to sort of crash a little bit. Let's close that. I don't need it. If I run this program, it's going to give me that argument error because I need to give it a message and I haven't given it anything. You can see here there's nothing in there. But if I give this how old are you, then I've given it a specific message that it will display on the screen, and that will make my programs a little bit seem a little bit cleverer. So how old are you? 23. Oops. There you go, you are 23 years old. But that has left me with a problem in my main program. So let's go and see what I can do with my main program. So which one was it? Calculator. There we go. We can handle this in a few ways. And the best way that I think is to sort of have a global variable. So if I define a message as please enter a number, so what I'm trying to do is define it in one place, okay, and use it many times. And I don't need to define it there. I can, let's cut that from there. I can make it maybe the first line of my main program. And that will be a global variable, and we're going to pass it each time into this get value. Now again, there's 8 of them, there could be more. So what I'm going to do is use that edit and replace. I'm going to look for this value, open and close. And I'm going to change it to value message. If I didn't declare it globally in the main program, I would have to declare it in each one of these routines. So I would probably end up with a lot more code. But there we go. I'm going to replace all the occurrences of it. Job done. Now my program should work quite nicely. So if I save it and run it, please make your selection, add, please enter a number. There we go. Notice I've got butted it up there, so I need to do a bit of editing on that one. But now my editing is really easy. I don't need to do it 8 times. I just need to look at this one and say, please enter a number and put a space. If I wanted to change the message, let me just comment this one out. I can just change my message. Message equals I need a number to do some math with. There we go, it's a pretty terse message. Save and run my program. Let's have a look. Let's do multiply because we never played with that. I need some number to do some math with. 3, 4, 12. There we go. So that's the beauty of setting up a library using global variables, passing parameters using arguments. So let's put that back to a better message. There we go. And I think the way that I have now written my routine. Let's see if I can get it on the screen again. I'm very pleased with the way it works. It does its job. As far as I'm concerned, it's finished. It won't let me type in letters. It will only accept numbers. It will keep going on until you put a number in, and it can be used in many different programs. All I need to do is pass in the message that I want, and it will crash gracefully, asking you to try again. So that's my library. I could pass that out to everybody with my code, so they wouldn't be able to see how it was written because I would give them a compiled version. But let's take a look at this one. It says my I/O, so everything that is input and everything that is output I could actually take out of this program and put into the library. So I'm going to do that now. Let's go and get that library back on the screen. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut that from here. Where's cut? There we go. Cut it from here. I'm going to paste it into here. So in other words, what I'm trying to do is any input-output routine, so anything that appears on the screen or anything that is put in via the keyboard, I'm just going to put into this library. So this get choice is another one. So if I cut that, let's keep them together. So my gets are at the top, my shows are at the bottom, and let's do the show result because that puts something on the screen. Edit, cut it from there, and paste it there. And then I've got a library just full of input-out routines. So I know if something goes wrong when I type a value in or when I see something on the screen, then I can come here and change things. Now, a lot of these are, what can I say? I've just shown you how to make this available to all programs, but you wouldn't want this show menu available to all programs. So really this library is just for the calculator, but that's fine because when you do your project, you'll be just doing libraries just for your project. But normally I would do a different way of programming this. So that's one library. I'm going to save that and I'm going to make some edits to it. So everywhere where we used show result or get choice or show menu, it was now in my I/O. So let's use the find and replace to handle that. Excuse me. So what I'm going to look for is show result, and I am going to do I/O dot show result. Replace all of those. It replaces all 4 occurrences in here. Again, where I did the get choice, at least 2 places where I did it, I need to put my I/O in front of that. So let's do that one. Edit. Oops. Replace. Now I don't know if I've used it anywhere else in my program, but if I have, this is a good way of making sure I get every single one. If I copy that, it's always good to copy and paste to save you making a spelling mistake, like that one, get. So replace all, and pretty much there. I think the only ones left to show menus. Well, I've used that at least twice in my program. So if I replace, let's do menu. Not going to do the whole thing. Silly me. Show menu with show menu, replace all. Now I've taken the vast majority of my code out of here, placed it into its own file, which I could work on, get right, and then just put to bed and not open it up again. But my program should still work exactly the same. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to fire up this program and see if everything is working. So there's my show menu working. I'm going to try multiply that. Obviously the get choice worked. I'm going to enter my numbers 2 and 4. That should give me 8. So hopefully my show result will work and print 8. And it does. So that's it. I've tested pretty much all of my routines and I've separated them out into modules. That is quite advanced. If you understood that and have a go at it, that's good. What I would like to do is sort of put all of these into their own modules so that I'm only dealing with or have a library which just deals with maths routines. But we'll have a look at that in another video.